Hello, all of my CCAP history students for US 101. Welcome to the spring session. I apologize, I have a little bit of a cold. I'm here in Portland where it's very wet. It's wet all on the West Coast, I think, and cold. Right now, I live in between Modesto, California and Portland, Oregon. Um, Working various jobs. It's a long story. Maybe I'll explain more later in the class. But so yeah, I just wanted to welcome everybody to the class, and I wanted to just kind of explain a few things that I think will be helpful to prepare you for what to expect. So right now, class is not officially started yet. So if you're listening, if you're looking at this announcement, there's nothing that's required at the moment, and you're not even required to watch this. This is just me trying to reach out to you guys all to give you a heads up on just kind of like if you're proactively wanting to kind of know what is going to be going on with the class, this is it for you. So several things. So first of all, I try to make my history classes really a setup for you to think critically, to be engaged with history, and to realize it's not about learning dates and names of people specifically, although that's always, helps. It's always a positive thing. You want to get the right dates, you want to get the right people involved. But to ask the bigger question about, as we go over the topics, what is the implication of history? I mean, if we just take a look what's going on right now in U.S. politics, and if I was to just be neutral, I'm not playing one political side or not. Trump going into Venezuela and getting rid of a president that he doesn't want is a part of a tradition that the U.S. has been doing with Democrats and Republicans, based on the Monroe Doctrine, for example, that the idea that the Western Hemisphere is our sphere of influence, outside forces aren't allowed to come in, and we get to dictate what's going on in this hemisphere. Now, it didn't really mean much when this was first put out by Monroe, who wrote the doctrine, or put it together based on his ideas. But as we became a more powerful nation, we are the world's largest superpower, and we're in this environment. And throughout the Cold War years, which we'll go into some detail, the United States doesn't allow any leader to try to reform or do anything in Latin America that the United States thinks is against the United States interest. And there's some people that think it's a terrible, it's morally problematic. There's all these things. Others think it's strategically sound. Right now, for the moment, I'm not going to tell you my position on it. I just want to show you how the history that we learn is very relevant to looking at how things are taking place the way that they are today and this messy world that we live in. And what I want to do is I want to provide a place for all of my students that even if your politics are very different from mine, that you're going to feel, I don't know, for lack of a better phrase, a safe place, that this is a place where you can engage with the material, you can engage with what I'm putting out, and as long as you're respectful, because I'm expected to be respectful. Okay, the Constitution doesn't demand us to be respectful, but in a classroom setting, we should be respectful. So when we have our discussions that we're going to have, as long as we are having the manners are still a value in school, right? And talking to each other in a way that is respectful. You can have a wide range of opinions on it. You don't have to agree with any of the interpretations that I even put out there. I have many students who have A's in my class that had all politics different than mine. Okay. I mean, very different. Maybe I was really like, whoa, you're not my politics. But hey, you did the work, you did the instructions, you I see a student putting in hard work, you're gonna get a good grade. Okay. So That's one thing. Ugh, this cold though. And you're gonna see some of my videos I make. I have coughing in it too. I seem to always just have bad luck with getting a cold or just something when I have to be on the media with my classes. But anyways, so look, that's just a little bit about the philosophy of that. We're going to be working with this textbook, okay? Howard's End, People's History. This is also seen as a very ideologically driven book. In fact, there's some people who, there's some political forces that really consider this to be the worst thing. Like, oh, you're teaching this. This is a leftist, woke history book. This is how they, okay. What's interesting is that I have explored different books to work with for discussions. And even my students whose politics are very different from this guy. I used to teach night classes. I'm talking about older grown-ups. They're like, Mr. Pollock, I like this. I like engaging with this book. And I haven't really found a textbook that really draws you in to having a really good discussion about American history the way that Howard Zenn's People's History is. So he's long passed. He's deceased. He's a leftist. And also some of the language is antiquated. Terms, and he says certain things that we don't use anymore. But the proof's in the pudding, every student that I have, for the most part, they get this. And even when they're mad at this book, that's kind of a positive thing. In other words, they're engaged with the history. And it's more than just the kind of standard textbook giving you information. Now, I have the OpenStax link, and that is a more standard history. It's more chronological. It gives you kind of the highlights. So feel free to look at that. That's what it kind of helps you if you're a person that needs that. But we're going to go into deep subject matter. Howard Zenn's going to be provocative, and it's a chance for you to be actively engaged with the material. Okay, so a lot of the books don't have this cover. It's a little different cover with his face. It's free. I have a link. Your school might have the book, the textbook there. A lot of schools have this. Some people like having a textbook. So I didn't require you to buy anything. I have the links in the syllabus, and I'll put the links in the reading module, in the link in the module. But some people like the textbook. You can get it, and if you wanted to buy it, you can usually find used copies for very affordable. Okay, so all right, so there's that, and there's the OpenStax. So that's a little bit about the textbooks. And so what's the routine going to be? We're going to have discussions every week. We're going to have notes. You have to take video notes on every video I show. Every video that's in the module, you have to do notes on. And then we have essays you have to write. I don't grade hard on the essays, but I have a very strict set of demands that have to happen. I'll go over that a little bit more later. I'll go over that again, should I say. But you have to use only the material in the class. And you have to cite. You don't have to use Chicago style or MLA. I have examples I'm going to show you. I'm going to go into more details about that. Look, almost everybody is using AI in their class, and it's very easy to do. Well, this is grown-up people land. We got to get a real education, okay? And I'm going to set it up so the papers don't have to be long, or the essays, should I say, they're not papers that put on, on the internet. But you're going to have to document within your essay where you got the information from, and you're going to pick sources that are in the module's links, okay? Whether it's the videos or the reading links. I'll go into more details about this later. And you're going to have to work with the material that you have, and you're going to have to show me where you got the information from. So if you're a person who thinks you can just coast with having the AI write your essays, this is not going to work out. You will get 0 points. I'm going to explain to you how this works, okay? So I'm not doing it to be, look, I'm not even anti-AI. The AI has a place. Just, you can even ask AI to help you formulate an essay. That's different too. So, but not write it for you. So I'll go into the details, excuse me, of the essays a little bit later on. Um, and so, what else do I wanted to briefly say? Okay, so a lot of my videos that I'm going to have you show are not my lectures. Some of them will be my lectures. Every week, you will have me do some type of lecture or a summary. I will be involved in the module, but I'm going to have a lot of videos of showing you documentary clips or other kind of things related to the material that we have also. And then I'll do a summary discussion, like I'll do a summary kind of the material for you each week, um, often, should I say, okay? And so my announcements, you're required to watch all announcements. Again, right now, school hasn't officially started yet, so you're not required to watch this, but once the class starts, you have to watch the announcements every time, okay? Because I'm going to give you information that is always pertinent to this class. So just know, I struggled in high school. I did poorly. In fact, I'm going to out myself. I did not, I failed history, okay? I went to Elliott Continuation High School, their home study program, to catch up on my work, to uh, get to the point where I could graduate high school on time. And I graduated from Downey High, and barely by the skin of my teeth, I feel like. And then I didn't really take school serious until a few years later, when my daughter was born. All I was a barista with no education. And being a late bloomer is a lot of uphill battles you have to do. And I eventually got to where I need to go, and I've been teaching for Modesto Junior College as a part-time instructor for over a decade now, and I do other jobs too. So I work at a consignment shop for my friend, who's my owns the business up here in Portland, and so I'm doing that. I'm doing other various things. So, but I try to make myself available to everyone and to answer your questions and resolve your problems as quick as possible. You all are my priority, okay, despite all my busyness. But I am busy often. So bear with me. It's best to write on Canvas, and, I'll get through to you there, for now, I'll just leave it here. It's already a lot of information. I'm going to break down this entire class piece by piece. In other words, all the assignments, I'll give you some separate videos explaining what to do on everything more precisely so that there's no ambiguity. You don't need to be stressed out, like confused. And don't worry, especially the first week, I'm going to give you a lot of leeway in terms of, like, if you're confused, you did something wrong, I'm going to write to you and I'm going to say fix it. And I'm going to give you time to fix it, and it's going to get fixed. Okay. So if you're coming into this class with a positive attitude, like, hey, I want to do well in it, you're going to do well. I'm going to help you succeed. Okay. So, like, I have your back. I'm here to assist all of you into getting a great education and to get a great grade. That's my job. And but I need you to also, put in your 100%. Okay, I'll give you my 100%. You give me your 100%. Everything will be perfect. So, all right, good. Anyway, nothing's perfect. It'll be good. All right. Happy New Year. We'll be in touch.